Buzz, 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 buzz. Buzz, buzz. Buzz, 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 buzz. Buzz, 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 buzz. Buzz, buzz. Buzz. Buzz, 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 buzz. Buzz, 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 buzz. Buzz, 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 buzz. Buzz, 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 buzz. Buzz, buzz, buzz. Spyro the Dragon has always been a big part of my childhood. This small purple dragon is still to this day one of my favorite video game characters of all time. Back in the late 90s, Sony had released a trilogy of 3D platformers for the PlayStation called Spyro the Dragon. These came out around the same time another trilogy of platformers came out called Crash Bandicoot. But the Spyro games were pretty different compared to Crash. Spyro was more open world like, while Crash was more like run forward and get to the end of the level. The Spyro trilogy turned out to be a huge success, earning a ton of money. But then after the trilogy on PlayStation, Spyro went downhill a little bit. He no longer was a Sony character and started moving on to other gaming systems, like the Nintendo Game Boy. And honestly, these new games were kind of forgetful. Especially that crossover with Crash, like good god, what even was that? However, after many years, we finally got a new console Spyro game, released in 2002 for the PlayStation 2 and GameCube, called Spyro Enter the Dragonfly. This game went back to Spyro's 3D platforming roots and basically was a follow-up to Spyro 3. But there was one small problem though. People hated it. Now why, you may be asking? Well, we're going to find out in today's video, because today I'll be taking a look at this game and giving my honest opinions on it. So without further ado, let's check out Spyro Enter the Dragonfly. Oh, by the way, I'm playing the GameCube version, just letting you know.
It's showtime!
Is it too late to quit? So this is Spyro Enter the Dragonfly, and this title screen already annoys me. Like, since when does Sparks the Dragonfly make these sounds? Also, yeah, Spyro's design is a bit different here. Now, a lot of people hate this new look, but honestly, I thought he looked perfectly fine. I mean, he doesn't look that different, he just looks a tad cartoonier. Yes, I know that's not a word, but come on, what am I, a dictionary? Alright, let's go ahead and start the game already. So like I said earlier, this game takes place right after Spyro 3. Look, they even have a balloon of the sorceress, how nice! I don't know why they have a balloon of an evil person here, but whatever. So anyways, the game starts off with everyone celebrating the rite of passage for a bunch of baby dragons. The same ones in Spyro 3. Every baby dragon will get a dragonfly partner of their own because clearly a dragonfly is a good babysitter, right? Alright, I'm gonna go to the store. Don't worry, this old dragonfly will take really good care of you. See ya! But then, oh no, Ripto appears! Wait a minute. I thought he was dead at the end of Spyro 2. I mean, he literally burned in lava.
Don't step in the lava! Don't step in the lava!
Oh well, it's a video game. You can die 1 minute and then be back 5 minutes later. Ain't that right, Bowser? So Ripto ends up kidnapping the dragonflies because without the power of dragonflies, the dragons are nothing. Which again, is pretty stupid. That's like me being too weak to make a video because I didn't have my Rin Toasted God Titty mouse pad with me. Also, what on earth is Ripto doing with his mouth here? Unfortunately for Ripto, something goes wrong to the spell, and this leads to the dragonflies being scattered across multiple kingdoms. And it's our job, or Spyro's job, to save them all. Heck, even Sparks was taken away. Oh no! Oh, there he is. See, now that joke in the beginning makes sense now. Bianca then gives Spyro an ability that lets him capture the dragonflies. But since her spell kinda fails, we have to find dragon ruins to use them. And off we go into our next adventure. So we finally get to start playing the game, and yeah, it plays like a normal Spyro game. You can breathe fire, glide, charge forward, etc. You can also pick up gems and flame sheep, just like in the original trilogy. However, in this game, the main collectibles are dragonflies this time around. They're scattered across every map, and usually in order to find them, you have to solve a puzzle, defeat an enemy, or glide somewhere. Also, you can't just walk out to these dragonflies and pick them up, no. You have to get a dragon ruin, and take it to the dragon spirit statue, and he'll combine his magic with Bianca's magic, and this will give you a new power called Bubble Breath. This captures a dragonfly in a bubble, and they'll get teleported away. I don't know where they went, but who cares? The thing is, these dragonflies are kinda scared of you, and will run away from you as soon as you get close. And yeah, it's kind of annoying trying to catch them, but thankfully it's not that hard. Also, apparently, Hunter can fly now. Now, so far the game doesn't seem too bad, but here's the thing. This game controls pretty horribly. Spyro's movement is just so much slower, and the glide doesn't go nearly as far. And sometimes, the bubble breath just doesn't work at all. Plus the game's incredibly laggy at times, and there's a lot of weird glitches. I mean, just take a look. Now yes, I have heard about how awful the game's development went, with it being super rushed to meet a Holiday 22 release date, and they wanted to include more gameplay mechanics but didn't have the time or budget to do it. But apparently, they had enough time to add these weird vehicle sections. Like, why on earth is Spyro the Dragon driving a UFO here? Is he trying to get his own alien show on National Geographic or something? In all honesty, these vehicle sections aren't a bad idea, but they were executed very poorly. Like, they all controlled terribly, and made the game lag even more than normal. So why the heck would they do this again in Spyro Orange? I guess I'll never know. Another thing that sucks about this game is just how lame the levels are. The hub world itself is so dull and boring. Plus there's only 8 levels to play from, so honestly, it won't take you that long to even beat this game. And your overall level design is just not that fun. Like, every level plays the exact same way, and that gets pretty repetitive real quickly. The game did have some unique gimmicks though, like giving Spyro the ability to swim underwater was pretty cool, and letting him climb is also pretty nice. But both of these gimmicks are underused. I mean, you can only climb certain walls, and while swimming is cool, it's also very glitchy. Also, in every level, there's minigames that you can play where you get a Dragonfly as a reward. These minigames aren't really that great. Yeah, most of the minigames are just the vehicle sections that I mentioned earlier, and like I said, they all control pretty poorly. Now, not all of the minigames involve riding in a vehicle. I mean, you got the gliding minigame from the original trilogy returning, but in all honesty, these sections are pretty boring. Now, they're not that bad, but they just feel so lifeless, and they all feel like the exact same thing. There's also a drumming minigame, and that was unique. As for the boss battles, there are none, except for Rito at the very end of the game. Yeah, this is another thing that sucks about this game. Like, where are the cool boss battles at? I guess they didn't have enough time to add them in either.
Come on, we gotta get this game out by Christmas. Boss battles? No, we don't need them. We don't got time for that. What, good level design? No, we don't have time for that either. What, you actually want to have a good story? Ha, that's ridiculous. Christmas is right around the corner. We gotta hurry it up, let's go!
Oh hey look, it's Moneybags. And we never saw him again after this scene.
Money still has my soul. Money still has my soul. Money still has my soul.
I'd also like to mention the game's music, in all honesty, I thought it sounded pretty good overall. They got people who worked on the original trilogy to make music for this game, which is a great idea. However, I will say, some of the game's sound effects are awful. As for the rest of the game's story, in all honesty, not much else happens. I mean, there are very few cutscenes in the game aside from the opening, one halfway through the game, and one towards the end. Oh yeah, speaking of cutscenes, the one that takes place halfway through the game is truly a bizarre one. So Rito ends up killing his 2 henchmen. What were their names again? I don't know. He kind of just zaps them with his scepter, they fall down, and we never see them again in the rest of the game. So, rest in peace, I guess? Also, apparently, Rito didn't even notice now that his scepter wasn't working correctly, and he didn't realize that the Dragonflies had been scattered until now? What is wrong with him? Is he really that stupid? But yeah, after this, not much else happens story-wise. But now we finally arrived at the final boss in the game. It's finally time to take down Rito. And this boss battle is okay, I guess. It's pretty easy, really. All you have to do is chase after him and hit him with your fire, ice, and lightning breath until he's defeated. He's also really giant for some unknown reason, and even transforms into this giant hulking creature for his final phase. But all he does is hit the ground for this part, and that's it. Also, wow, the sound design here is at its worst, with the sound effects repeating a ton here. Anyways, we end up sending electricity into his scepter and beat him in battle. But he escapes through a portal, and that's the last we see of him. Until Spyro Attack of the Rhinox anyways. And the game ends with the whole gang together again, and if you 100% the game, you get a small bonus cutscene. But in all honesty, this game is not worth 100%ing at all. Like, this cutscene is the only reward you actually get, and trying to collect everything here, it's just so painful. But here's the thing though, you don't even really need to play the game because you can instantly get to the final boss and skip everything. Yeah, it turns out in the hub world, there's a spot that you can dive on and you'll instantly clip through the ground, taking you instantly to the final boss. Heck, the speedrun world records for this game are just over 1 minute, and that's insane! Yep, as you can clearly see, this game is broken beyond repair. So overall, I wasn't really the biggest fan of Spyro Enter the Dragonfly. The controls are sluggish, the story was basically non-existent, and the glitches are all over the place. But I don't think it's quite as bad as everyone says it is. Now yes, it's not exactly a very good game, but there are way worse Spyro games out there. Yeah, I'm talking about you piece of shit. This game at least felt like it had some love put into it, and it felt a lot like the original trilogy. Maybe if it had more development time, it could have been way better, but what we got in the end was just an okay game at best.
Ugh, thank God I can talk normally again. So yeah, like I said before, Spyro Enter the Dragonfly was not a very good game. Sure, it's a bit overhated, but it's still not the best game ever. I still find it weird that a dragon needs a dragonfly by his side to stay strong or whatever, but what do I know? I'm just a guy who owns a Rintosa Titty mouse pad. It gives me powers, okay?